How many games will the Carolina Panthers win in 2025? What's going on, Panthers fans? It's your boy, Man Jones here, back with another NFL record prediction. And this time we'll be doing our NFL record prediction for the Carolina Panthers for a 2025 NFL season. Let's get started here. I'm going to give you my game analysis and my game thoughts, see which games I think the Panthers will win and which games I think the Panthers will lose. Before I give you my recommendation for the Carolina Panthers for a 2025 NFL season, don't forget to put a thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and comment down your opinion below to see how good you think the Panthers will be. Do you think the Panthers will have a bounce back season? Do you think they can break out? Do you think they'll make the playoffs and win the division, or you think they need another year and miss out on the playoffs? Let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. Okay, so basically, week one, they play against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this is a game right here that can go either way. Now, both of these quarterbacks are a little bit unexperienced. Now, I know Trevor Lawrence could be way better than Bryce Young. Offensive lines are okay, but I think the Panthers do have a better O-line. Uh, both defenses are a bit sketchy. I mean, they were like one of the worst defenses in football last year, especially against the run in the past. Especially Jags were bad in pass defense. Maybe there's a chance Carolina can totally like rip them apart, but at the same time, the Jags do got some weapons on offense like Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas that can really get after the Panthers secondary. And the Panthers don't really have any other corners other than J.C. Horn. So yeah. But at the same time, I'm going with Jacksonville because I think the Jags, they have the better quarterback, and I just think they're a better version of the Panthers. And on top of that, I just really think that, the Jags, I just really think the Jags do have a better offense. And I think they'll find a way to at least like get after the Panthers secondary. So yeah, I think they'll like possess the ball, control the game, keep Bryce on the sideline. So yeah, I think this will be an offensive game, but I'm going with Jacksonville because the home field advantage is a difference maker, and I feel like that Jacksonville is probably going to be pumped up. So yeah, that's why I'm going with the Jags here. Week 2 against the Cardinals. This is another game that can go either way. Now, I know most people could be on the Panthers because, the Panthers did beat the Cardinals last year, which that's facts that they did. I mean, Bryce Young was totally balling out the Cardinals. But I feel like this can be another offensive game. But at the same time, I'm going to go with the Cardinals here because I think the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals are just a way much more complete team, and they just have the better quarterback. And they're at home, and playing in Arizona is tricky. And I feel like the Cardinals did improve their defensive line a little bit, especially through the draft and free agency. I think they can find a way to at least get after Bryce Young, made life difficult on them. And, the Cardinals, their offense, have some weapons like Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, James Conner. Like, those guys can totally give, the Panthers defense some issues. So, yeah. So I don't think your defense will have answers for that. So yeah, I think Kyler Murray, he's a tricky quarterback to defend. So I feel like he can make some plays, he can ball out. So yeah, so I think the Cardinals will probably win this game, but I think it will be close. So I think it will be high scoring. So yeah, next game, week 3 against the Atlanta Falcons. I think Carolina will pick up their first victory against the Falcons because I just really think that, the Panthers, they're at home in this game. I think their offense can find a way to at least in this game, I think Bryce Young will be up to the task. So I think, even last year when these two teams played, the Panthers did beat them and it was high scoring. So I think the Panthers offensively can find a way to at least move the ball and possess the ball, move the change. And Canals has had really good game plans against Atlanta as well. Paired to Jacksonville, where Liam Cohen was the Bucs offensive coordinator and he ripped up the Panthers. So yeah, but in this game, I think Carolina will win this game at home. Week 4 against the New England Patriots. I got the Patriots win this game. Now, I know a few people could be on the Panthers, though, but at the same time, I got the Patrons winning because the Patrons, they're at home. They got the better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're the more complete team and have the better defense as well. I think the Patriots defense did improve this offseason, which they did added some pieces to the defensive line and to the secondary and to the offensive line. And they did also upgrade their receiving room. They also added Stephon Diggs as well. I don't think your defense will have answers for Stephon Diggs. I think Drake May is going to ball out. And also, this game could be weather dependent. It could be windy, rainy in this game. Who knows? I think the Panthers will win that game. Week 5, I think the Patrons will win that game. So yeah. Then week 5, they got to play at home against Miami Dolphins. This is another game that can go either way, but I'm going with the Dolphins here because I just really think that I just don't really think your defense is going to be able to handle against Tyreek Hill and Jalen, especially against the speed of the Dolphins offense. Especially, you got to deal with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Jonnu Smith and Devon Achane. Like, yeah. Even though Dolphins' offensive line is dreadful, I think they can run the ball. And I don't really think the Panthers really have much of a pass rush to at least get after Tua. So I think Tua will have some time and he'll have a big day and he'll do enough to like dice up your secondary. And I just don't think your defense will have answer for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So I just have a feeling that they could be a problem for your secondary. So yeah. So I think the Dolphins offensively will win this game, but I would not be shocked if Carolina won. But I just have a feeling that Miami will find a way to pull this one off. Next game, week 6 against the Cowboys. This is another game that can go either way, but I'm going with the Cowboys here because I feel like the Cowboys will be a lot better in the passing game paired to Miami. Um, the weakness that the Cowboys really had is, their ability to run the ball and also their run defense. Now, here's the thing for Carolina. I think you can run the ball on Dallas and you can keep Dallas's defense on their heels, which I think you can do that. And I feel like, you can stop the running game of Dallas because Dallas' run game is one of the worst in football. But at the same time, I just don't really think the Panthers defense will have answer for George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb or Jake Ferguson. So, yeah, I just think those guys are just going to, like, go off, like that. So, yeah. And I think there'll be a problem as well for your secondary. So, yeah. And also on top of that, I feel like the Cowboys do have the better defense, but they have a better pass rush because I don't think the Panthers really have the pass rush to get after Dak Prescott and make life difficult on them. And I just have a feeling that, Dallas will get some pressure and they'll like force some mistakes, some bad sacks and turnovers. And Dallas do have good corners too, which I think they'll find a way to at least like play some sticky coverage against an underwhelming receiving core of the Panthers. So yeah. And even last year when they played, the Cowboys did whoop them. So yeah, so basically, I think Dallas will win because I think Dallas is the overall better team, better quarterback. So yeah, and that's pretty much why I think Dallas will win that game. Week 7 against the New York Jets. This is another game that can go either way. I could totally see the Panthers winning this game because the Panthers do have a better offensive line, and they do have a better passing game, but their defense is not good. So it could be weather dependent of New York. If it's windy or rainy, I could go with the Jets. But I'm gonna go with the Jets for right now. I think the Jets have one of the much more talented defense, and I think they'll make more plays, and I think they can make life difficult on Bryce Young and all that, which I think because they have a really good pass rush, a great secondary led by Sauce, who can take on, either one of the Panthers receivers. So yeah. But I don't know if the Jets will have the passing game to get after the Panthers secondary, but I think they can run the ball in Carolina because Carolina doesn't have a really good pass rush. And the Jets offensive line is really weak. So as long as the Jets O-line can stay protected, I think they'll find a way to at least like take advantage against the Panthers D line that's totally not great. So yeah. So basically, I would not be shocked if the Panthers won, but I just have a feeling the Jets will win because they have the more talented defense. Next game, week 8 against the Buffalo Bills. I actually got the Bills win this game because I just don't really think the Bills are the more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. Like I just don't really think you got. I don't think the Panthers are on the Bills level. Like I just don't really think the Panthers really have much of a pass rush to get after Josh Allen. So I think Josh Allen can totally make some magic here because he can run, he can make some plays, he can scramble, and also even though he doesn't have a lot of good weapons around him, I think he can totally take advantage, especially against a young Panther secondary. So yeah. So, and also the Bills do have the better defense as well, which I think they'll make more plays, but they don't like to play a lot of man. They like to play zone. And especially the Bills got great corners that can man up against an underwhelming receiving core of Carolina. And their pass rush can totally give Bryce Young some fits as well. So, yeah. I feel like this game will be close, but it won't be a blowout. But I think Buffalo comes out on top. All right, so week 9 they play against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. I actually got the Packers winning this game because the Packers are just overall better team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. Like they're at home, and I just don't really think that I just don't think the Panthers offense is going to be good enough to at least like stop the Packers offense. Like the Packers are good in the run game. They can run the ball, they can throw the ball, and I think Jordan Love feel like they'll be explosive in both on both sides of the offenses because I think Jordan Love can do enough to like dice up the Panthers secondary, and we don't know who's going to cover the Packers receiver because the Packers got a deep weapon core. They got Matthew Golden, the rookie, Christian Watson if he's healthy, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Ontavian Wicks, Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. Like they got plenty of weapons that can really like totally give the Panthers defense a lot of problems. And also, the Packers do have a solid offensive line. Their defense, they don't have a great pass rush, but their secondary could be exposed in the back end because, maybe Bryce Young can dice them up. Who knows? But I think it will be an offensive game similar, to the game they played 2 years ago where the game was close and Green Bay ended up winning by a field goal. So, yeah. So, basically, I think the Packers will win this game, but I feel like it will be a lot closer than we expected. Then week 10 against the New Orleans Saints, I think they'll beat the Saints once. So I'm going to say they win the first game at home. And then I'm going to say they at least lose the second game in New Orleans coming off the bye because playing New Orleans is a tough place to play at. And I feel like the Saints need to at least win one of the games, even though I think they're going to be the worst teams in the league because I don't know who the quarterback will be. Because either going to be Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler, who knows. Saints, their defense is old. Their offensive line is old and not good, but is young. Like, yeah, I don't believe in their coaching because especially Kellen Moore as a young coach, like, yeah. And then, they got the Panthers, I feel like they're overall better team, better quarterback. Like, yeah, that's why I think the Panthers will win the first matchup in that game. And then I think they'll lose the second matchup because playing New Orleans could be a tough place to play at. So, yeah. Then week 11 against the Atlanta Falcons, I think they'll split with the Falcons. So I think the Falcons will win here because I don't know how good Michael Penix is. Like, will he be better? Would he be good in year 2? Like, who knows? Like, I feel like in one of these games, I think Michael Penix will be up to the task, and I think offensively they'll do enough to at least like move the ball against the Panthers defense. And the Falcons defense, like they can stop the run okay, but they don't have a great pass rush. But they got a great secondary, like big time players like Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell who can make some plays. So yeah, so basically, I think Atlanta will win the second matchup. Next game, week 12 against the 49ers on Monday Night Football. This is a Christian McCaffrey revenge game, so I'm going with the Niners here because I feel like the Niners are going to have a bounce back season. They're going to be a tough team to beat, especially in San Francisco on a Monday night, which that's a tough place to play at. Like the Niners, they just overall have a better roster. Like they're overall better, more complete team. They got the better quarterback, better coaching staff, and I just felt the Niners do have the better defense and a more explosive offense because they're going to be having their guys back like Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and CMC, like Jawan James, and they got Purcell as well. So those guys are just going to at least like be too much for your defense. And the Niners do have a great pass rush that can really give the Panthers offensive line some fits. But I feel like I'm not too worried about their secondary as well. So as long as they can crowd the box and stop the run, they should be fine. So yeah, so I like the Niners here to win that game. Week 13 against the Los Angeles Rams. I think I'm going with the Rams because I think the Rams are just a more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. Like, they got better defense as well, better pass rushing team. I think the Rams pass rush will really give the Panthers offense some fits. And I just don't really see how the Panthers offense is going to be able to do much. And the Rams secondary is not good. Maybe there's a chance that the Panthers can expose them in the back end. But the Rams don't like to play a lot of man. They like to play zone. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the Rams secondary. So as long as they can crowd the box and not give up big plays, they should be fine. And also, I don't think the Panthers defense will have an answer for Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua because those guys are gonna be making plays against your secondary and Stafford just gonna dice you up. So yeah. And Kyron Williams will run all over your defense as well. So yeah. So I think, the Rams will find a way to win that game. But I feel like it will be close though. So now we don't need to discuss week 15 and 14 anymore. So they got to bye week 14. Now we don't need to discuss week 15 anymore because I already got the Saints. Week 16, they play against the Buccaneers. And they play against the Buccaneers week 18. So it's every other week. I think the Panthers will beat the Bucs once this year. I'm going to say they at least win the first game because they should have at least won one of the Bucs game last year because they played really well in that game. So I think the Panthers will win the first game because I think, Dave Canales knows the Bucs really well. So yeah, I feel like one of these games, I think Bryce Young will be up to the task. Then, so yeah. Week 16, they got to play in Seattle Seahawks on a Saturday. This is another game that can go either way. I was leaning Seahawks for a while, but I don't know. That's a tough one. Most people could be on the Seahawks, though, because Seahawks have a better defense. Overall, have the better coaching. And I think Donald's a better quarterback than Bryce Young. But I'm going with Carolina here because I think Carolina, has a better offensive line. I think they'll run the football better. And, I feel like Seattle's offensive line is gonna struggle to win on the road. And, the Panthers, they got Derek Brown to at least, get after, to at least, disrupt the Seahawks offensive line that's not good. So, yeah. And then week 18, they play against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it depends on the Bucs need to win this game. But their rest are starters, I think they're going to win that game. But if they do, if they don't, then I think the Bucs will win that game. So I'm gonna say the Bucs stars do, and I'm gonna say they win this game because I think the Bucs are gonna have more to play for because they're trying to make the playoffs, which I have them making the playoffs. And the Panthers are probably gonna be playing for nothing because I don't think they're gonna be a playoff team. So yeah, Bucs are just overall more talented team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. So yeah. So basically, I have the Panthers going 4-13, which that's a little bit disappointing. I kind of really think they'll fight with the Falcons and Saints because I have the Bucs win division because the Bucs are more talented. But the question is, can Bryce Young break out? Like we don't really know what he is. We don't know if he's gonna break out or not because he had a rookie season and his second year was strong. Now could he get better in year 3? Like who knows? As you look at the Panthers schedule, it's pretty tough because they have to play a first place schedule. I mean, as you look at it, this is tough because they have to play a first place schedule. They have to play, the Bucs twice. They play the Falcons twice. They even got to play the Rams, who's a first place schedule. Though they got to play the whole NFC West, which is they got to play the Rams. They got to play the Niners, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. They even got to play the Cowboys, and they even got to play a first place schedule in the Bills, and they got to play the improved Patriots team. So yeah, and also they got to play the Jags and Duval as well. So they only don't play a lot of good teams this schedule, but this is not an easy schedule because I feel like 4-13, it sounds about right because I think Carolina will probably go somewhere from 4 to 6 wins this year. But in like 4 to 7 wins this year because I maybe they go 8-9, 9-8 at best. But if Bryce Young is good and the Panthers offense can break out and their defense starts to like play at a high level, then I think Carolina could totally be like an 8, 9, 10, a 9 to 10 win team. So yeah, but I just don't like. I like the Panthers this year. I like Bryce Young. I want to see what he can do, and I really like the improvements they made, especially on the offensive line, especially at wide receiver and running back. Um, but I just don't think they're there yet, and I don't think this is a year that I think Carolina will be that much better in 2025. But if they can get another offseason to at least make some more improvements, then I think, Carolina can totally be a playoff team because I at least give Carolina at least one more year to get back in the playoffs. So yeah. So 4-13 is totally my record for the Carolina Panthers. So yeah, but now before I go, I want to talk about some games where I think that the Carolina can totally win. Like I can totally see them beat the Jags. I can totally see them beat the Cardinals. I could even see them beat the Dolphins. If Tua's hurt, I could even see them beating the Cowboys. I could see them beating the Jets. I could even see them win shockingly to the Bills. I could see them upsetting the Rams. Like, I could totally see them at least lose a few more games and get worse. Or like, I could totally see them lose to I could see them lose to the Seahawks or something like that. I could see them lose to the Saints twice or the Falcons twice. So yeah, some losable and winnable games I could see for Carolina. So yeah, so 4-13 is my record for the Carolina Panthers. You let me know in the comments section below how you guys think about the Panthers this year. So yeah, with this email, Jones, big fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.